afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Ellen Bryan. I work on Great Day Washington. I co-host it here on WUSA 9, and I am thrilled to be here with you today to welcome you to the Leaders and Learners event to benefit the Foundation for Fairfax County Public Schools. We have an exciting event for you today. I know it's virtual and looks different, but we want to go ahead and get started because the impact is still the same. This year, we have so much to celebrate. It's an incredible time. I know we're in the middle of a global pandemic as well, and the stories that we're reporting here at Channel 9 every day show the strength of the community. We see teachers who are making sure that students are still learning the lessons they need to learn, parents who are helping teach their kids at home, and also the community actually making this all happen and giving everyone the resources they need. So on behalf of the Foundation for FCPS, I would like to thank the sponsors of today's program as well, which are on your screen, and also recognize the members of the Fairfax County School Board for their tireless efforts over these past few months. And we also want to recognize the board and the staff at the Foundation for FCPS for their amazing work. We'd like to spotlight that as well. So thank you all. Round of applause here virtually. Now, since March, the Foundation has been working hard to provide access for all so that students could participate fully in classroom learning, even though they are now in that virtual setting. This fund has raised over $500,000 to date and has been used for school supplies, MiFi devices, internet access, which has been so important, food access, and also grocery gift cards as well. This has been an incredible show of community strength, and it also shows that we are indeed stronger when we are working together. We want to kick off the program today by hearing from some of those who are impacted by the Foundation's contributions and also those funds that go out to help students.
The Community Impact Unit wants to extend a huge thank you to everyone who has given to the Foundation for FCPS during these difficult times. From the beginning of the pandemic, the Foundation for FCPS, with the help of community and business partners, has been crucial in securing access to food for children and adults at the FCPS food sites. Thank you to everyone who has made it possible to support the families of Fairfax County.
Because of the work that you're doing, hundreds of kids across the county were able to access the internet from home and participate in virtual learning and continue to have high quality education in FCPS. You're making a difference. Thank you.
With their help, we've been able to purchase emergency basic needs for students. That includes food, medicine, school supplies, and anything else they may need that we don't have funding for. We've been able to serve hundreds of children in the last school year and anticipate being able to do that again this year. So thank you so much to the Foundation for your ongoing support.
Since March, Food and Nutrition Services has been working hard to continue to feed breakfast, lunch, snacks, and supper to kids and families, even with school closures. Due to the Foundation's generosity, we've been able to provide over 6,500 no-cost meals to adults.
I wanted to share our most sincere gratitude for the generous donation of supplies we've received from the Foundation. These supplies help break down barriers to ensure students are ready to learn and succeed. Thank you for helping us to foster an environment of kindness and equity.
Thank you so much for that amazing gesture that is changing lives. It's definitely changing the lives of our students. It is helping them to come to school and finally graduate. It is helping us to strengthen our relationship with them.
I would like to sincerely thank the Foundation for FCPS for fostering an amazing connection between our schools and the Claude Moore Charitable Foundation. Through the generous support of Claude Moore, we've established the Claude Moore Scholars, providing meaningful and relevant experiences and opportunities for our students across all 16 health and medical sciences programs. We're so appreciative of the support, and we're looking forward to our ongoing collaboration. Thank you, Claude Moore. Thank you, Foundation.
You gave hundreds of packages of school supplies through the Collect for Kids campaign, and our students and their families were so excited to receive these amazing packs and have a strong start to school year 2021. Thank you so much. We're deeply appreciative of all of your work, and I wish you could have seen the smiles on the kids and families' faces, but I'll tell you, They were so appreciative, and we are so appreciative of all your work.
So many people in our community were moved to support the foundation and Fairfax County Public Schools over these last 8 months, which we thank you for. We would like to show you a story now from South County High School and what they did about their all-night grad party for their seniors.
The all-night grad party is a tradition that's existed in, I believe, all the high schools in Fairfax County for probably decades now. And that is funded by ticket sales and also from reaching out through the community and getting donations. And then we also do just some fundraisers that are geared specifically towards raising money for the all-night grad party. So it's to provide kids with a safe, alcohol and drug-free environment, to kind of have one last big hurrah with all their friends before everyone scatters to go to college or off to jobs. When the pandemic hit, we had to take a good look at our budget and said, okay, what do we think is reasonably going to happen and what isn't? And really everything changed on a day-to-day basis. We talked to the principal, says, is there some way, we can do something with the school to try to get some money to kids who need it? Because we had all heard of people who had lost jobs or had hours cut or things like that. And we still have, about 25% of the South County population is on free and reduced lunch. So we knew we still had issues with food insecurity, and we're trying to figure out, what can we do? The PTSO had already donated to the foundation before, and we could see that it was, the money was being used for, meals and computer access and everything else. And people are just hurting at this time. And we said, if you want to help out, just go ahead and tell us you don't want your money back. We'll go ahead and accumulate all those donations and send them to the foundation. And that's what we did. What did come out of this whole thing was everyone realized that there are people that are worse off than you, and what better way to go ahead and try to help out than to reach out through the foundation.
Such incredible stories of everyone making an impact and showing what the foundation has truly done just in these last few months. Did you know that despite its wealthy reputation, there is this great need in Fairfax County Public Schools? We've actually done many stories on it this year because the pandemic has shown this spotlight on the digital divide that is in the community, not to mention the access to food and other necessities. Nearly 1/3 of FCPS students qualify for free and reduced meals, which is actually about 58,000 students. And as we begin to open back up again after this pandemic, we are sure that those numbers will rise. So today's event is all about your opportunity to help those students. They are going to need those additional school supplies and the food access. And you know what? That's something that the foundation can actually provide with your help. So if you are moved today to help support the work of the foundation, you can text your donation. It is that simple. You grab your phone, you see that number on your screen, you text your donation in, and truly any amount is great. Nothing is too small, and our students will thank you. We thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No one has been busier during this time than Fairfax County's Superintendent of Schools, a name we say here on the news about every week, at least, Dr. Scott Brabrand. He is here to reflect on how the community has supported FCPS during the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Brabrand, take it away.
Thank you, Ellen, and I want to welcome everyone who's watching this today. This event is an important opportunity for the Foundation for FCPS to showcase its work and the value of investing in public schools, and I'm honored to be a part of it. Let me take a few minutes to highlight some of the positive stories and partnerships that have happened during this pandemic. In this program so far, you've heard about how the foundation raised funds, over $500,000, to support distance learning, school supplies, and food access since schools closed for in-person instruction on March 13th. You'll hear in a moment from Mark Testoni of SAP NS2, who has a deep commitment to the schools and public education. I've been gratified to see and hear the outpouring of support from our community, individuals, companies, nonprofits, and faith-based groups who have come together to make sure students and families have what they need to be successful. We are all stronger when we work together, and I believe in many ways, despite the challenges we faced, that this pandemic has revealed our community at its best. Just to highlight a few important connections, Capital One. Capital One has been an amazing partner during this time, both by making a $90,000 investment in distance learning technology needs and by continuing their after-school coding program at 5 FCPS middle schools. They immediately pivoted to a virtual model for Capital One coders once COVID hit, and our students are continuing to benefit from their dedication to FCPS. Cox Communications is another company that has lived its commitment. Their employee fundraiser in April raised over $20,000 for Access for All. And then when schools were reopening in September for virtual instruction, they made it possible for low-income families to sign up for the low-cost internet program Connect to Compete directly through the schools and have FCPS cover the cost. This turnkey solution made a huge difference in helping families who didn't have to navigate a complicated process when they have many other details on their minds. I know that several student groups around the county held fundraisers in their neighborhoods and sent the money to the foundation to support their fellow students in need. We also had over 2,500 individual donors to the foundation since March 13th, when our schools closed for in-person instruction. That is just incredible, and I want to thank each of you personally for that support. FCPS has also benefited from the participation of 27 local businessmen and women on the Superintendent's Technology Advisory Council, led by Greg Baroni, Chairman and CEO of Attain, Amy Gillian, President of General Dynamics Information Technology, Bobby Kilberg, now the former CEO of Northern Virginia Technology Council, and Andrew Coe, Foundation Board Member and founder of Covexa. That group put in countless hours researching best practices and processes and came up with 67 recommendations across 7 work streams. 17 of those recommendations were deemed highest priority, and we are working this year to implement those changes. Their work was critical to our future and will be impacting FCPS for a long time to come. I'm also excited to share with you we've hired our new CIO, Gotham Sethi, who'll be working to complete implementing those recommendations this year here in FCPS. I also want to acknowledge the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors and County Executive Brian Hill. They've been steadfast partners with us throughout this pandemic. They redeveloped their programs to support our students, taking their after-school clubs virtual with NCS Connects, and they helped provide the SRS program in 37 of our school buildings. The Supporting Return to School program provides full-day on-site programming for children in kindergarten through 6th grade. They also coordinated closely with FCPS to guide community members to food access and created an interactive map for food resources all around Fairfax County, using our school sites as the basis. They fostered collaboration among needs-based service providers throughout the county to make sure everyone in need could find the services they required. We are witnessing a reinvention of public education right now. Even as we're planning to bring students back into the classroom, school will be forever changed. We're not just talking about a change in response to the pandemic. We're talking about a systematic change to the processes that have led to inequities in our schools and in schools across the nation. I am committed to partnering with the Fairfax County Public Schools School Board because while we have made some progress, there is still much more to do, and I know the board shares with me that together we can accomplish this important equity work. We can figure out how to best close the achievement gap, and we can support equitable opportunities for all students during this pandemic. It's been a challenging time for us all, but if nothing else, we revealed the value and importance of our schools as the connector and the glue for our community. You've recognized this through the outpouring of support for the foundation and our partners. Thank you. And now joining me is Lynn Forkas, the CEO of Milestone Communications and the chair of the Foundation's Board of Directors. Thanks for being with me, Lynn.
Thank you, Dr. Brabrand. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to serve as the chair of the board and to help to create impact for the foundation. I've lived in Fairfax County for over 30 years. My kids went to Fairfax County schools. My business for 20 years has been based in Reston, and feel very much aligned with all the things you said about the glue in the community and how we all work together to make lives better for our kids. I've got a few questions for you that I'd like to share. The first is, you've been tested like no other superintendent in such a crazy time. I'm just curious, how have you had to adapt your leadership style in light of all the circumstances and all the challenges that you're facing right now?
Well, thanks, Len. First of all, I'd say I think all of us have been tested, our teachers, our principals, our parents, our students, and yes, school superintendents have been tested as well. I think what it's done, what I've tried to do is be more reflective, listen more than ever before to all of our stakeholders in the system and outside the system. There have been so many points of view and strong feelings around those points of view. And it really sometimes has meant pausing and being sure that we do the deep reflection to be sure all voices are heard in the room and that all voices are in the room to begin with to be heard. We've really tried to do return to school in the most measured, phased way possible, relying on health and science to guide us.
You know, Scott, you're a leader, you're a neighbor, you're a dad, you've got 2 kids in the school system. Distance learning with your kids and your boys, how's that been?
Well, my boys are seniors, and so I've really got to experience this pandemic both as a superintendent and as a parent. Overall for them, it has gone well, and we certainly learned a lot from our spring, and we took the lessons learned from the spring, and I'm very proud of what our staff was able to do to begin the year with a strong virtual opening. What my boys want and what I think every student wants in FCPS is how, as much as we've been able to, make connections through virtual, and we have done an outstanding job with virtual education. There still is no substitute for the in-person instruction that comes with the physical presence of a teacher and a student. And our kids, more than ever in this pandemic, are really struggling with the social, emotional aspects, the trauma, the collective trauma that we've all experienced. And so we're working very carefully and in a measured fashion to put all the pieces in place that we can begin, and we have begun to return in person in a phased, measured manner. We have a few groups in already, focused primarily on our most vulnerable kids, and we're hoping, again, if the metrics hold for health and that we have the staffing in place, that we can continue to bring more groups back throughout the rest of the year.
Well, that's so encouraging to hear, because that you really answered my next question, which was if you had to paint a picture of what the next 10 weeks, if you look at the last 10 weeks, we've learned more in the last 10 weeks, and we've executed more technology in the last 10 weeks than maybe even the last 10 years. But what are your thoughts, or what are you aiming for, obviously, to end the year and start 2021 with a fresh start? What are your biggest goals?
Well, sure. Well, the biggest goal is to continue to make sure we provide high quality education for all of our kids. We're also going to need to begin to pivot very soon, and we are, and we've already begun to identify gaps for students in their achievement or social emotional impacts, and we're going to need to be ready as we have kids return to school to be able to support them in different ways based on this pandemic. We'll have some kids that will choose for their own needs or family needs to remain virtually, and how can we better support them as this pandemic continues. I'm hopeful that the arrival of a vaccine late this year or early into 2021 will give us more flexibility as we continue, because frankly by early January or February we're already deep into planning for the next school year. We will not return completely to pre-COVID normal. We will have a new normal in FCPS, and in many ways that's exciting. We are redesigning, and we have redesigned education in Fairfax County at a level that has never happened before, so quickly and so fast. And we need to take the lessons from this redesign to actually improve the FCPS product moving forward for every one of our kids by name and by need.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, Dr. Brabrand, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you so much for your support of the foundation and the support of all the kids in the schools.
Well, Len, I just can't tell you enough how much I appreciate the work the foundation has done. Our community did step forward in this pandemic, and it rallied around our schools, our students, and our families. And your leadership, I want to just thank you for your leadership and stepping forward. You You're an inspiring leader. I've read your book, and one of the things as a bicyclist who's been in many races, it's continue to finish the race. And I know the partnership that the foundation has with our schools and community is helping everyone in Fairfax County finish this race. We will win against the pandemic. Thanks.
Fantastic. Well stated. And now back to you, Ellen, to share with the community how they can support the work and the mission of our foundation.
We have our virtual round of applause. Thank you so much. That was great, Dr. Brabrand and Len. Thank you so much for your encouraging words today. So far, you have heard so many terrific examples of how the foundation and our community have come together to support FCPS and the students during this time. As Dr. Brabrand said, we are better when we work together. And remember, even in this wealthy county, there are about 58,000 students in Fairfax County Public Schools who qualify for that free or reduced meals. Nearly 1,000 of those students, they are homeless. And you know what? They need our continued support. So if you are able to give, we have that number that you can text right there on your screen. It is as simple as that. The foundation has helped over the past 8 months by providing grocery gift cards, computers, MiFi devices, internet connectivity, and also food access. Things I feel like we took for granted before 2020. Your gift now will help them continue that work. So we'd like to thank you in advance for your contribution. FCPS is so fortunate to have incredible business partners who also work with the schools. They worked with them before, now, and also in this virtual environment. We are very lucky to have one of them with us today. They'd like to talk about the company's commitment to public education and also the importance of the community support to their work. We thank them so much for their support as well. Not only did SAP NS2 make a $20,000 grant to the Access for All Fund, thank you, but they are working right now on other ways that they can support students with STEM learning so that they can make this deeper impact. I'm going to bring in someone very special to do the introduction for them today, as they are highlighted as our business partner this year. Please help me virtual welcome, Dr. Sunil Badrani, the Foundation Board member and also the CEO and Chief Medical Officer at Innovation Health.
Good afternoon. My name is Sunil Badrani, and I'm the CEO and Chief Medical Officer of the CVS Aetna and Innova partnership known as Innovation Health. We provide healthcare services and insurance services throughout the region, both in the commercial and Medicare space. Today, I'm proud and honored to be here in celebrating this very important occasion. It's my honor to introduce Mark Testoni, CEO of SAP NS2. Mark serves as Chief Executive Officer of SAP National Security Services with responsibility for management, sales, consulting, product support, cloud-delivered applications, and infrastructure, and strategy for SAP's most security-conscious customers and partners. In 2013, Testoni founded NS2 Services, a nonprofit organization that provides technology training and employee assistance to veterans. To date, 318 veterans have graduated from this program and have been placed in high-tech careers. As a sought-out thought leader in cybersecurity and national security, he provided the keynote address at the 2018 World Cyber Congress in London, England, and has appeared in the New York Times, Fast Company, the Wall Street Journal, Wired, and Forbes, to name a few. Mr. Testoni is a recurring guest on CNBC's Power Lunch, Squawk Box, and Bloomberg TV. With this, I'm so pleased to welcome him as a keynote for our event today, and thank you for the opportunity.
Hi, I'm Mark Testoni. I'm CEO of SAP National Security Services, or sometimes as we call it, SAP NS2. I'm glad the foundation asked me to stop by today and say a few words for your event. You know, back in March, when the pandemic started, we were looking for ways that we could increase our presence and help in the community. NS2 has always had great CSR programs, and we've really tried to focus on giving back in the community, and everything from veterans to many other ways, but we knew that the demands and needs were greater. So, operating in Fairfax County, we reached out, among other people, Elizabeth Murphy, the executive director of the foundation. And she opened our eyes to a number of things. And we asked the question, how can we help? Well, come to find out, Fairfax County, a very wealthy county, at least perceptionally is known as such and well-to-do, has more than 58,000 students in its school system that fall at or below the poverty line. That was really an eye-opening thing for me to hear and for our team to hear. So we got involved and we made a donation to something called the Access for All Fund through the foundation. And that provided technology, the business we're in, things like MiFis, things like computers for students who needed them to be successful. And we felt really good about that. And it's very important given this massive shift of learning and education process that took place in the spring and is now extended into the fall and probably will likely extend into the next year. So I'd ask each of us to think about how we can continue to do these things. Today we're going to make another announcement and a second donation to a different program supporting students. It's called Kids in Need. And this program really gets at children that don't even have basics often. They may not have clothing, they may not get consistent foods and meals, things of this nature. So we're so glad to announce this second donation to the county or the school district foundation. First and second, we're excited to be involved even more broadly. I think it's imperative for each of us as leaders in the community and others that are part of this ecosystem to ask what we can do to help. How can we help? It's not just money. It's people, it's time, it's effort. So I would encourage everyone that's participating today to think about how they can become part of the solution as we look going forward, because our lives have changed dramatically. They're probably never going to go back to the same way that they were, but we will make them better and even more effective, and it really starts with our students. Finally, I'd like to spend a minute talking about NS2 Labs, which is another asset that we're bringing to the table here in the community and for our customers. We established this virtually about 18 months to 2 years ago to really as a meeting place online to bring our customers and stakeholders and partners together. But quickly we understood that we could really bring this to the table for students as well. So we've started programs and outreach to schools in the area to allow them and the students and kids access to the great technical talent that we have and places where they can learn about careers in IT or how IT can be applied to solve problems and how it is being applied to solve problems, and get them involved and engaged in projects. So we're excited about this. If you have an interest, if you're an educator or you're someone who just wants to get involved, please check out NS2 Labs online and reach out to us, and we'd love to talk more about that. Finally, this all falls under the umbrella of CSR for many companies. And it's really important that we give back to our communities, and particularly to our children, because they are our future. And we all benefit from the opportunity to operate and to be good business leaders and government leaders in the community. And so NS2 is very proud to their association with the foundation and the school district and beyond. Because really, we look at CSR as not an office, it's an ethos. And it's really important in these times that we continue to expand our reach and our footprint. Finally, hope that this event goes well today. My best wishes for a great time, and I hope there's a great education. Thank you for your time.
Such a wonderful and inspiring message. Thank you so much, Mark and Sunil. And as we close out today, we want to give you one last opportunity to donate. It's as simple as grabbing your phone. Grab your phone right now and then donate to the foundation for FCPS. That number to text is right there on your screen. Your support will enable us to continue to provide education for students. Either they are missing out on that internet connectivity, we can supply that. School supplies, we have that. Grocery gift cards, it's another thing they've been providing. Every little bit helps, and every little bit goes toward the students who are in need in FCPS. Of course, we are all eager for the day when the schools have completely reopened, when we can see each other again. They have their regular programs supported by the foundation, and that helps students always find paths to their individual success. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know it looks different this year being virtual. We hope to see you in person again next year. And as we leave you today, we do have one final treat for you. This is a video that was created by teachers at Woodburn Elementary School to thank the foundation for everything that they have done to support the kids at their school. We truly think that it speaks for all of us. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you, and we will see you next year.